Pardon my saying so, but you look like you've seen better days. Let me guess. Some daisy's gone and broke your heart, and now you're here belly up to the bar, fixing to drown your sorrows. Oh, don't try to hide it. I see it written all over your face. Might not seem so to you, but I've seen my fair share of heartbreak. In fact, I've been in your boots more times than I care to admit. So let me go ahead, save you a world of grief, and tell you how it is. She's gone, buddy. Turned heel and riding straight to greener pastures. She ain't coming back much as you'd like her to. She left and did so for a reason. So the way I figure it, you've got one of two options. You can either sit here holding tight to what just ain't there no more, or you can get to picking up the pieces. Get to putting your own house in order. Dusting off your spurs and putting ass to saddle. There ain't no easy way to say this, friend, but it's time to ride out. She went one way, it's time for you to go the other. But before you do that, it's important to understand what got you into this predicament to begin with. The last thing you need is to go charging your way into yet another failed relationship without first understanding what caused the last one to go the way it did. Now, I don't know the particulars of your situation, but that really don't matter. 9 times out of 10, a failed relationship comes down to one of two things. Either you didn't do your job or you didn't do your homework. That surprise you? Did you think I was going to blame your little lady friend for how things went down? I could, and I might not be wrong in doing so. But the truth is that now ain't the time for pointing fingers, even if you've a right to. No, now's the time for taking stock. As hard as that might be, you need to look inward, because if you do, you'll soon see exactly what you need to see. That you're responsible. Even if she hurt you, even if she did you dirty and broke her most sacred vows, you got to own your part in this. And that's important to know because in the end, it's the only thing you can do anything about. She may be gone, but your future ain't. If you learn what you need to learn now, especially the hard things, a brighter day may yet dawn for you. But you gotta be brave. So, brother, let's be brave. We can begin with the obvious question. How? How are you responsible for this failed relationship? Well, again, it comes down to one of two things. Either you didn't do your job, or you didn't do your homework. What do I mean by that? Let's just start with the first, your job. Anytime a man gets romantically bound up with a woman, there are certain unspoken requirements that come with the deal. First and foremost, it's expected of you to be the kind of man the gal is fixing to be with long term. Contrary to what you may have heard, love ain't a charity and it ain't an entitlement. Just like you, a woman enters into a relationship expecting to get a good return on the investment of her time and energy. She expects to get the things she wants. Nowadays, people try to complicate this kind of stuff, but it ain't complicated. A genuinely good woman, one you'd actually want to settle down with, isn't asking for anything too outrageous. She simply wants a strong, steady, capable, decisive, and generally attractive man who ain't a jackass and who's got some shred of emotional intelligence. That's it. If you're aiming to make her a keeper, that's your job. So far as it's up to you, you gotta check those boxes every day. And the less of them that you do, the more likely it is that she won't be sticking around. So, before we move on, I want you to take a real good look in the mirror. Were you doing your job? Were you strong physically and mentally? Or were you soft? Were you steady and dependable? Or were you erratic and unreliable? Were you capable? Could you get things done that needed getting done? Or were you lazy and incompetent? Were you a decision maker? Or did you make her call all the shots? Go down the line one by one and ask yourself honestly, were you the kind of man a high-quality gal would truly want to be with for the long haul? Did you put in the work to remain that man? Or were you just coasting, expecting her to stick around out of the kindness of her dear little heart? If you don't like the answer to those questions, that's good. It means there's work to be done. Work that, if you do it, won't just improve your romantic prospects in the future, but will help you heal in the present. Instead of wallowing in your sorrows, you can take action. Lift heavy things, learn new skills, set big goals, and go after them. Trust me when I say, ain't no better medicine for a broken heart than when a man starts chasing down excellence. But let's assume, for the sake of argument, you did everything right. You did your job, but damn it all, she went and done you dirty anyway. That does happen, and if you were on the receiving end of it, I want to tell you that I'm sorry. Truly I am. Ain't nothing that hurts quite as deep as the betrayal of a woman you loved and cherished. But that being so, I still need to shoot you straight, if for nothing else than your own good. There's a reason this happened as well, and you guessed it, you're responsible. Not because of what you did, but what you didn't do. That's right, you didn't do your homework. Brother, a woman is always saying something, even when she ain't talking. If you want to get the message loud and clear, watch what she does. Make no mistake, how a woman behaves is the surest indicator of who she is behind that pretty little smile. If you're attentive, if you do your homework, those actions will tell you many things. Like the pages in a book, they'll read to you the story of how this relationship is fixing to shake out if you maintain your present course. If you study up and take note, what you'll read in the book of her actions could save you. Not just a hill of heartbreak, but your finances, the custody of your children, your very life. I'm talking about red flags. Most people got one or two, and that's all right. We're human after all. But if you start seeing more, best you back out nice and quick. Ain't nothing good coming from a woman with more flags than a 4th of July parade. I won't bore you by listing them all out, but here are a few to be mindful of. If a woman belittles you, constantly competes with you, keeps men from her past around, displays violent tendencies, doesn't respect your time, manufactures drama, or complicates your life instead of complimenting it, she ain't the one. Don't try to save her. Don't try to fix her. Chances are you can't, and if you've got the energy to try, that energy is far better spent chasing down excellence and expanding your pool of options. Don't get me wrong, it's not that you shouldn't want good for her. Of course you should. But this day and age, a man simply has to take precautions. The stakes are just too damn high, and the days are evil. You've a right to protect yourself and your future. You're not obligated to check wisdom at the door and invite trouble into your world out of some false notion of chivalry. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Now, I could go on, but I see you're still hurting, so it's probably best to leave you to your drink. Reckon I've given you more than enough to chew on for one day. In closing, let me just say that despite my stern words, I ain't without sympathy for you. It's hard work nursing a broken heart, and sometimes it don't heal easy. I get that, and I'm sorry for your pain. I truly hope that in time, you'll bounce back a better and wiser man than you were before. And hell, if something I said helps steer you clear of another broken heart down the trail, well, I reckon I'd be mighty pleased with that. Regardless, you take care of yourself, and know that come what may, old Arthur is pulling for you.